show should have sponsors. That'd be pretty cool. And I was just thinking about that actually. What if like some person decided to actually pay me, of all people, money to say their names on this show? That'd be pretty ridiculous. Welcome to Eric's Chase Grid Talk, episode number 18. And today I'm going to be answering some more of your questions. Let's probably get that up really quick because right now I do not have any. I don't know what your questions are. I should probably get that up while I finish talking here. I got some other things to talk about. No real major news in the sport of NASCAR this week, other than I guess you can probably count the penalties that were issued for last week's fracas at Texas Motor Speedway. I'll get to that in a second, or maybe I'll just start with that because there's not a lot to talk about. It really wasn't nothing really crazy happened. So if you missed it, which if you're a real NASCAR fan, you would have probably better have seen it. Otherwise, you really need to get updated with everything. But last week, Sunday night after the Texas race, on a late restart, Brad Keselowski and Jeff Gordon made contact. Gordon was not happy about it because Keselowski kind of forced his way in there. After the race, Gordon confronted Keselowski on pit road. Their two teams kind of started swinging at each other, and then that basically Gordon got a little grip on Keselowski, and once that happened, basically it was a free-for-all brawl there on pit road. There were definitely punches thrown, and so let's see. Looking at the penalties that were issued on Tuesday by NASCAR, they did not fine Brad Keselowski, Jeff Gordon, or Kevin Harvick, who had a very minor role in the deal as well. They did not fine any of the drivers personally, and they actually did not fine anyone on Brad Keselowski's side. I guess they must have gotten all that out of the way when they fined him a whole bunch from Charlotte a few weeks ago, so I don't know. People that did get fined, though, was both Jeff Gordon and Casey Kane's crew chiefs, Kenny Francis for Casey Kane and Alan Gustafson for Jeff Gordon. And let's see, I'm looking at him here. You had a few other crew members, a couple from the 24 team and a couple from the 5 team also were fined and actually suspended for a few races. So that don't know how that might shorten the 24 team's bench a little bit. They might have to start pulling some nationwide crew members or switching people out, So that could actually have an effect on Jeff Gordon going through the rest of this season, the final 2 races. And yeah, that was basically it. Crew chiefs got fined and some crew members got suspended. Nothing major, and I thought it was interesting that Keselowski's crew didn't get anything whatsoever. And now, to be fair, I don't really think I understood. I don't have a problem with Brad Keselowski not being fined as much as I think what he did on the racetrack and everything, and kind of the way he handled it, the way he kind of shrugged off Gordon was completely unacceptable and kind of just no, not right. He didn't deserve to be fined. He didn't instigate the fight with Gordon. If you go back to Charlotte a couple weeks ago, he did instigate the fights with Hamlin and Kenseth when he ran into them all on pit road and after the race and everything. So then he deserved a fine. Then I didn't think he deserved a fine for this. All he did wrong was wreck Jeff Gordon, pretty accidentally. Phone's ringing again. Hate it when that happens. I could hit pause, but I'm too lazy to do that because then that'll require me to go back and edit this episode, and I'm too lazy to do that. I hope you can't hear who's calling right now. Okay, it's gone. I lost my train of thought. Darn you, phones. What was I talking about? I was talking about Brad Keselowski. Oh yeah, okay. Brad Keselowski. I didn't have a problem with him not getting fined this time because he wasn't an instigator. Jeff Gordon and his team were clearly instigators, and Casey Kane and I think Paul Menard's crew was involved a little bit as well, and so I'm not surprised that one of those guys got penalized as well, but. NASCAR went at everyone that threw punches, which I'm not exactly sure. I guess throwing punches, yeah, that can injure somebody, but I feel like, grabbing someone and yanking him onto the ground is kind of worth something as well. So it's interesting. You'll notice they didn't get mad at Gordon personally for grabbing Keselowski and trying to throw him on the ground, and they didn't get mad at Matt Kenseth when he tried to tackle Keselowski a few weeks ago. So NASCAR doesn't seem to have any problem with you football tackling somebody, but they does seem to bother them when you start throwing punches, which I guess that makes sense, but at the same time it's okay. So that's all I want to talk about on that. I can pretty much jump into questions now. I think pretty much. I got a decent amount of questions. I got a lot of people's opinions, and I know I mean in my opinion or in you guys' opinions, I saw a lot of people most people I'd say thought Keselowski was wrong, but a few of you guys kind of said, oh, but yeah, Brad was being overly aggressive, but he was just doing really the only chance he had of winning the race. I understand that, and that makes sense to me, but what you gonna do? I'm still on Jeff Gordon's side, and this will probably be the last time that ever happens. So don't get used to it. Let's answer some questions now. Let's see. I don't know. I don't have these in any particular order. Let's see. Any questions? All right. Well, I guess we'll start here from Dakota Lee. After what happened on Sunday, do you think Jeff Gordon should be more focused on making it to the championship round, or do you think he will go for revenge? Also, what do you think about the suspensions? I personally think the suspensions are BS. Dakota, I mean, you didn't go into detail on why you thought they're BS. You probably thought that I don't know, something about me tells me that you think Keselowski should have been fined or suspended. And I kind of just gave you my idea of why that shouldn't happen. Because, like I said, Jeff Gordon did instigate just about everything. Yeah, Keselowski, what he did on the track made him look like a turd nugget, but you can't fine a guy for accidentally bumping into someone during the race. They've never done that. If they start doing that, it'll turn it IndyCar, and nobody wants that. What else did you say here? You said, should Gordon be more focused on making it to the championship round, or do you think he will be more focused on getting revenge? I think going into Phoenix, I think he will be more focused on making it to the championship round. I think that's on the top of everyone's mind. Gordon is only 1 point to the good right now, so he needs to go out and have a really strong day at Phoenix if he wants to advance. So, yeah, I think at this point for Phoenix, if it gets to the point where it's like he has to pass Keselowski, I think he'll dump him. But if it's just kind of one of the things where it's like, no, don't worry about Brad right now. Just pass him cleanly. Worry about him whenever. If I had to guess when Gordon would pay him back, if ever, I don't know if Gordon necessarily ever would. No, he probably would, actually, now I'm thinking about it. Jeff Gordon, yeah, he'll probably pay him back. It'll probably be next year. I'll bet it'll be at one of the first races next year. Or it'll be Homestead if something happens. I don't know. Homestead's the type of track. It's like Texas. You don't want to pay a guy back at Texas because you're going 200 miles an hour. Homestead, you're going really fast as well. You don't want to accidentally just flip a guy over, and that would look really bad and be bad in general. So Gordon's going to hold a grudge. He's held grudges before. The whole Clint Boyer thing in 2012, apparently that was a year-long incident that was kind of going on where it was throughout the course of a whole season. So I don't think Jeff has too big of a problem waiting a couple months before getting Brad back. But there's a pretty good chance he will, in my opinion. I think especially if he ends up not winning this championship, I think Gordon's going to really look back at this and dislike Brad for the way everything happened. My phone is ringing again. It's not my phone. It's my home phone. This is what happens when you don't have a professional studio, when you spend 45 minutes a week. Who the heck is that? My answering machine, the little voice dude, is telling me who it was. I don't even know who that is. I don't even know who is calling my house at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I mean, how dare they? This is like peak recording NASCAR podcast time. Don't they know anything? I'm being completely sarcastic. Oh, good, it's done. Gee whiz, this is ridiculous. Again, I lost all train of thought. I think I was done talking about whatever I was going to do. I just finished answering Dakota's comment. All right, cool. Answer that question. Let's see what else is up here. Here's a question from Matthew Deal, and this is a very specific question. If you notice Carl Edwards is good at Phoenix and also got a good top 10 finish at Texas, do you think he can run well and other chase drivers have trouble and advance? Obviously, you must be a Carl Edwards fan. I'm looking at your profile icon, though, and it's a picture of Casey Kane, so I don't know. Maybe you're not an Edwards fan. Maybe you're hoping Edwards fails miserably. I'm going to tell you this. Edwards will not advance because I think Phoenix is a good track for him, but if you look at the first two races of this round, specifically Texas last week, they didn't run well. They just didn't. They ran bad. Especially Martinsville. I was forgetting about Martinsville. God, they were terrible at Martinsville. Jeez, I don't even know. I don't know. Usually, coming into this round, I would have said, oh, yeah, Phoenix, he'll be good there. If he's right there in the mix going into Phoenix, I think he can advance because, he's good at Phoenix. But if I had to go with, who's on a roll right now, it's not Roush Fenway Racing for sure. It feels like they've gone back to their old habits. Or it feels like, because when the chase started, Edwards and Biffle both weren't running very well. Biffle never got it together, so that's why he was out immediately. Edwards at least sort of got it together and ran pretty well in the whatever the last round was, the contender round or whatever it's called. He ran pretty well, and that's how he got to the eliminator round. And I was a little surprised by that, but not too surprised. Unfortunately, though, for Edwards and all of his fans, he has shown up into this eliminator round and basically run the way he did in the challenger round, which is not very good. He lucked into a top 10 at Texas. I mean, I guess he did come from 2 laps down, so there's something to be said for that. But in the end, if not for all the late rate cautions and stuff, he would have not had a very good run. He would probably finished 15th or 20th. So, that being said, I'd say he has a good chance to advance, but I don't think he will. If I had to put money on it, I would not say that Edwards would advance. That's going to be the tough thing. If you look at the points right now, you got Jeff Gordon, who's 4th, Matt Kenseth, who's 5th, and Carl Edwards is 6th. Edwards and Kenseth are like tied, basically. And those 3 are all separated by 1 point. So you can look at it and be like, oh, those 3 guys are basically going into this weekend battling for that last spot. That might be the case, but let's not forget about the 2 guys that are 7th and 8th, Brad Keselowski and Kevin Harvick. Both of them are coming into this weekend basically thinking that they got to win. And if there's any guys in the series this year that can win when they need to, it's these 2 guys. So you might be Carl Edwards, and you might be up there, finish 2nd place in the race, and jump up to 4th in the points, and you're like, yeah, this is good. We're in. Yeah. But then the guy that ended up winning was Kevin Harvick, and all of a sudden he leapfrogs everyone in the standings, goes to 1st, and you get bumped out to 5th. So Carl Edwards, you'd be out of luck, and that's the tough position that those 3 guys find themselves in, because Harvick or Keselowski have been dominant this year at a lot of tracks, and I would not be surprised if they went out and won this race and just leapfrogged everyone and just spoiled a bunch of good moods. All 3 guys, Gordon, Kenseth, and Edwards, could all be out. Would not be surprising at all. Of course, Keselowski might just take out Harvick just because the 2 of them probably wreck each other, knowing Brad. Okay. Next question. I might just answer. This may be the last question I answer because I don't know. This is probably going to be the last question I answer. It's from, wait, hold on. My bad. Okay, sorry. Yeah, it's from Dimitri Mondros. This is the last question I'll answer. From Dimitri Mondros. He asks, do you think Brad Keselowski will change his driving style after he continues to be involved in problems, or do you think he will continue to drive like a moron? I love the way you phrased your question, Dimitri. Very, very nicely done right there. Continue to drive like a moron. Man, that basically describes Brad Keselowski these last few weeks. Drive like a moron. With the exception of Talladega. I'd say he drove pretty well at Talladega. I mean, he won the race. He had to have driven pretty well. Mile and a half has not been his friend, apparently. He seems to make a lot of enemies there. I don't think Brad Keselowski's going to change his driving style. I think he's going to drive as ridiculously aggressive as he can until he wins a championship. And if he continues to drive this ridiculously aggressive, he probably never will win another championship. There's a difference between driving aggressively and driving stupidly. Aggressively means, oh yeah, there's room here. Let me just I'm going to take it, I'm going to do it. Stupidly is, oh, there might be some room here, but I don't know. Let's just go for it, And it's not necessarily what happens on the track that differentiates it. It's the mindset. And Keselowski likes to call himself an aggressive driver. I race hard. I just race to win, man. I just race to win, That's what I'm supposed to do. And he can throw that BS out there all he wants. But the truth is, he is trying to win. But in order to do so, he's wrecking people to do it. He's running into Jeff Gordon to try and win. He almost wrecked Ryan Newman on the last lap at Talladega. Nobody talks about that. He freaking practically drove Newman up into the wall. It's the only way he was able to protect his line. Good Lord, he freaking ran Kenseth into the wall on a restart at Charlotte while he's going for the lead. Brad Keselowski can say all he wants is that he's an aggressive driver that's going for the win. But to be honest, he's just making people mad at him. He's a dirty driver. I went over this on Monday. He's not necessarily an aggressive driver. There's a fine line between aggressive and dirty in terms of racing. There's aggressive racing and then there's dirty racing. Brad Keselowski's always walked that fine line, but in this chase, he's jumped over that line by a considerable margin into the dirty racing side. And that's what's pissing people off, and that's why Jeff Gordon and Matt Kenseth and Harvick and Hamlin and Stewart and everyone wants to fight him and chase after him is because his aggressive stupidity or whatever you want to call it is costing other people championship hopes, and maybe that's their plan. Because if you look at it, Joey Logano's leading the points right now. Maybe that's Keselowski's plan is to just wreck everyone so Logano wins the championship. I mean, it feels like Keselowski's run into everyone except Joey Logano these last few weeks. So maybe that's their plan. I mean, it's not, but I'm just saying. I don't know. Dimitri, to answer your question, no, he's not going to change the way he drives. Keselowski, because in his mind, he still thinks he's in the right about everything that's happened these last few weeks. He feels like it's just aggressive driving. These guys can dish it out, but they can't take it. Who's tried to wreck you the last few weeks? Nobody's trying to wreck you, but you've been wrecking other people. So you can say that dish it out, but can't take it. Nobody else is dishing it out. You're the only one dishing it out. You're running into people, running people off the road, wrecking people into the wall, dooring people into turn one. Nobody else is doing that. So you can say all you want that, oh, if people do it to me, I'll do it right back. Gordon didn't slam into you at Texas. You slammed into him. Kenseth didn't slam into you at Charlotte. You ran him into the wall. It just doesn't make any sense. He can give us that crap all he wants, that he's just racing aggressively and giving it back to the people that give it to him. Nobody's giving him anything. He is literally making stuff up, and he's trying to build sympathy for his side. And the truth is, Brad Keselowski has been wrong about both of these decisions. And I keep referring back to Charlotte and now Texas. They're basically the same thing. Keselowski was to blame. It was both times it was an overly aggressive move that cost other people very precious points in this new point system. Keselowski better hope for his life that Jeff Gordon advances this weekend, because if he doesn't, Brad's going to find his butt in the wall at Homestead in a couple weeks, and that's going to give everyone a good smile and probably bring this rivalry to a close. So, I'm not answering any more questions. I'm done. My throat's sore after that. All right. What time are we at? We're at 16 minutes-ish, somewhere around there? Okay, we're good. That's my show, guys. That's my show. I got into it this week. I'm sweaty now. I got this heat lamp or something freaking shining down on me. Point that thing away. This desk is hot. I need to turn a fan on or AC or something. Whew. Winter's coming. Well, at least it's acting like it is, but down here in freaking southeast Texas, it's still as humid and warm as ever. Good Lord. All right. I guess I'll wrap this up. Announcements that I want to bring up. I got Doubly Cup Series, the Season 5 finale. I almost forgot about it. Race 8, that's coming up. I want that up by next weekend, it won't be up this weekend. I fell way behind on it. I'm sorry, guys. I've really started working on it, though, the last few days, and it's going to be ready probably in like 7 days exactly. And I know I'm going to have like a promo video or something come out for it next week, so it'll be things to hype it up and stuff like that. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that. I know it sucks because I try to get my races out every 2 weeks, and it's going to be about 3 weeks between 7 and 8. So sorry about that, but I've been doing the best I can. This race is going to be good. I'm fitting a lot of stuff into this video. Most of my races, my W Cup Series races, the videos are about 6 or 7 minutes long usually. Yeah, this one might be closer to 10 or 11 minutes long. I don't know. It's going to be a little longer because I'm going to jam-pack a lot of extra stuff into this thing. It's going to be like an event almost, if NASCAR stop motions can be like that. I don't even know. NASCAR parodies, I got one coming out in a few weeks. I know that I'm going to be working on. And over the holidays, there'll be a few videos. I'll keep you guys posted on what I'm going to be doing. But since I'm taking some time off the W Cup Series this winter, there won't be that. So I'll be doing other stuff. So that's all I have to say. I'm saying so a lot. I don't know if that's weird. It's because I'm kind of making this all up as I go. That's the end of my show. I'll see you guys on Monday. I want to have, I was trying to get, I thought about getting, I was going to try and get my dad to be on this episode because he hasn't watched the races as much as I do, but he's up to speed with everything that's going on. And I wanted to just bring a second guy onto the show and have somebody else to talk to about it because none of my friends watch NASCAR. I'm kind of alone in that respect, but I want to have somebody else to debate with on here. So I thought about doing that for this episode, but I knew I was going to go into more Brad Keselowski stuff, and I don't want anyone to hear me rant about that live. Give me their opinions because I don't want any of their crap. But he might be on an episode next week or something like that. So possibly look forward to that. I don't know. And that's all I have to talk about. So see you guys later. Bye.